The truth is, I've always thought about this network and CNBC and USA and actually all of those assets as insurgent networks.
Right.
This is an insurgent network, and I love the idea, to be honest with you.
Hey guys, so in case you missed it, the story of the week is that a big change is coming to media. MSNBC has rebranded into MSNOW. Now, the initials MS have negative connotations for most people. You might think of MS-13. You might think of multiple sclerosis. Or you might think of MSNBC. But the voices and faces of MSNBC, or MSNOW, I guess, have chimed in with an optimistic note about their rebrand and the future of independent journalism. Yes, they are now independent journalists. So let's hear what they have to say.
As it pertains to our network. This morning, a new name for the network by the end of the year. We will become MSNOW, which stands for My Source for News, Opinion, and the World. And look, Andrew, they even have a graphic up. I like it.
There it is.
Actually,
the new logo.
It looks very sporty. As we go to Versant, we're going to be moving in this direction, MSNOW, which I got to say, I got a call yesterday afternoon, and they're saying, "We hope you're okay." We're going. I was like, "What do you mean? Like this shows we're independent." And what I've said on this show time and time again is, you look at the people that are running the company; they're entrepreneurial.
Right.
Like when you have somebody come into your company after working for like big corporations, and you're talking, you're saying, and they go, "We want you to be entrepreneurial. We want you to come up with new ideas. We want you to push the boundaries." I'm excited about that, so I'm excited about this too. It's like, what's in a name? Well, whatever you put into the name.
Well, look, my understanding is this decision was a choice by NBC Universal.
Right.
Remember, originally they were going to leave the Peacock with the different units.
Right.
They decided that they wanted that to stay with NBC Universal. Having said that, despite my sentimentality about the Peacock, I've always loved the Peacock.
Yeah.
The truth is, I've always thought about this network and CNBC and USA and actually all of those assets as insurgent networks.
Right.
This is an insurgent network, and I love the idea, to be honest with you. You can take out your salt shaker or whatever you want to do and say, take it with a grain of salt. But I like this because I think it actually does have the sort of independence and actually gets away in some ways from even the idea of legacy media.
Yes, MSNBC is no longer legacy media because they've changed their logo. And it's just that simple. If CNN rebrands and changes their logo, if the New York Times rebrands, they no longer qualify as legacy media. It's a terrible logo, by the way. I mean, it looks like it was made in MS Paint. And say what you will about NBC, but the Peacock is a pretty good logo. I mean, it's very recognizable. And it's funny that NBC thinks that they have this impeccable reputation to defend, that they have to carefully guard the Peacock from being associated with the likes of MSNBC, as if most of the viewers of other NBC-affiliated projects are really going to be that discerning about it. But it's funny that they no longer want to be quite so closely aligned with the absolute schlock that is sold to viewers on MSNBC. I think the last opinion article I read from MSNBC was on the subject of Sydney Sweeney and why her big boobs and good looks are this dog whistle about white supremacy. So MSNBC is definitely pushing the boundary. I think it's the boundary between sane people and people locked up in a mental asylum, and they're pushing closer to the asylum. But that's pretty much the only sort of edgy journalism that they're doing. I mean, it's really funny. I wonder if these hosts actually believe themselves when they say that they're going to become independent journalists or that they are independent journalists. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think what you're seeing MS do and what you're seeing some of these other networks do now is not just linear, but by the way, I'm watching you on TikTok now. Do you know that? You know I'm seeing you on TikTok.
So this is a thing, and of course, because I'm hip with the kids, people,
I know.
I actually didn't know this, but this network is the most watched news network on TikTok and on YouTube.
Yes,
right?
it is.
So we are moving. We're moving in a direction beyond corporate media. And again, I think this fits. It fits. It's where it's a new marketplace. And you look at legacy media, you look at the old media companies. I could list a lot of names, John Lemire, that meant a lot 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that mean nothing absolutely now. It's what have you done for me lately? And are you looking to the future? Are you trying to hold on to the past? And this is a question. Are we going to be like Eastman Kodak throughout the 1980s and 90s? You know, or are we going to be like NVIDIA and look at a brave new world? And I think this actually helps us do that.
The media landscape has been changing.
Well, say what you will about TikTok, but I feel like having MSNBC on there is some sort of American revenge against the Chinese. Whatever ideas they're flooding our children with, we're sending MSNBC back to them. So there's a push and there's a pull. No, but it's absurd. I mean, I don't really think they're going to change the format of the show. They're just going to keep doing business as usual, which is to toe the corporate line. They really seem to be convinced that just by changing the name, they have solidified themselves as these credentialed journalists who are speaking truth to power and chasing down these stories that people don't want you to know about. Meanwhile, the rest of us know that when you tune into MSNBC or MS Now, not only are you seeing the stories that the corporate media wants you to see, but you're also not seeing all of these stories that are percolating on X or even TikTok for that matter, that are just too tough to spin or sort of too inconvenient for MSNBC to even mention. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and they really are shaping up to become this favored outlet among TikTok users. I mean, maybe they'll start splitting their screen with like a video of Subway Surfers or a girl doing her makeup in fast motion. And if they do that, I would actually give them credit. I would say that's a bold choice for the news.
A lot over the last decade or so, but it's been really accelerated in the last few years in this particular moment. So it does seem an ideal time to rebrand, an ideal time to embrace a new identity, to, as you said, to be an insurgent network. MSNBC.
By the way, it's also a line in the sand just about the future. And the truth is that this network, originally the MS, was Microsoft.
Right.
So for a very long time, there has been a rebrand, I would argue, almost in order.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's good. Slight
You're just
smile.
saying that. You're just saying that.
No, I think it's good, and I think I didn't know the MS was from Microsoft. I mean that. Yeah, I think
crazy. That deal didn't go well for Microsoft.
Yeah,
but
no,
anyway.
it did not. But I think that's right. And look, we know for a fact that people get their news, a lot of it from YouTube and TikTok. So if you're biggest news, if you're the biggest news network out there, that's a big deal.
Yeah, the goal is again, be entrepreneurial and be independent.
We call it, we've always just say MS anyway.
Yeah. Right.
MS, and then the truth is now is what this is all about.
Right.
So throughout the clip, I kept thinking there must be something else, right? These people can't really believe that by changing their name and their logo to something slightly different, they're actually innovating and courting this entire new audience. But no, that's actually what they believe. And also, it's a great sign of confidence in something when one of the panelists can only muster up, well, I think it's good. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think that they're maybe trying very hard to convince themselves that they are doing something effective to save their failing network. But, as I've seen people in the comments point out, rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, it doesn't do a whole lot to stop the ship from sinking. So I'll leave you with that, but let me know what you think in the comments section below. Give this video a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.